Mustangs. This is Monique Coloppo,
Kari Ferrari,
and Ariel Magdetti.
and we were your 2014-2015 school news anchors.
Wait, but what about 2015-2016 anchors?
You're right.
I think we have that here for you today. By the interview with Miss
Yeah,
Cook? Oh wait, you're right. We do. For you.
Alright, so before we get to the interview with Miss Cook, we're going to do a little bit of a recap on last year's broadcast. So Ariel, let's start off with you. What was it like being an anchor?
Being an anchor was really great. It was really nerve-wracking at one point, but when you got into it and you were with the flow, it was more like, at ease. And it was really great club. Broadcast Cup was one of my favorite things to do every Monday because we had a lovely, not athletic director, we had a lovely director maintaining the whole broadcast with Miss Hernandez and Miss Cook that we have here for today. It was really great, and I miss it.
So do I. What about you, Kari?
I loved giving the news to the school and just seeing my face on that TV every Friday morning, which is wonderful because I'm such a beautiful person.
Yeah, I think it was pretty great. I remember my first time being on the broadcast. I was like super scared, but then when I walked back into class, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're on TV!" So
I felt like a star.
Yeah, we felt like the famous people of Rodriguez.
I felt like my face was more than a face.
Yeah, pretty much. So, okay, what were you guys' favorite parts about last year's broadcast? Like favorite clips, favorite segments, events that were...
I liked when we had the homecoming skits and the homecoming skits for winter. That was fun.
I liked the sports because you know me.
Yeah.
What sports do you play, Kari? Basketball? Tennis?
Yeah.
Honestly, I liked everything. I don't really have specific favorite. I think I'd agree with Kari though. Watching the sports news up there, watching all the action happen. I think what was really crazy before was when they would count down until you had to go on, until you were live, which was really scary, but it was pretty cool. Alright, so are you guys ready for the interview?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, I think we're ready. Alright, so I'm here with Miss Cook. So how are you today, Miss Cook?
I'm good.
That's great. We miss you over here.
Aw, I miss you guys too.
Alright, so let's get on to the questions. So what happened to our broadcast club and, having our Friday morning broadcast this year?
The main thing is this broadcast studio, which when it was actually built was, same as industry standard. I mean, they spent over $250,000 on the studio that we currently have, but it was built 8 years ago, and with any kind of technology, things you have to continually, kind of replace it and work with it.
Yeah.
So we were having some technical issues with our broadcast machine that runs the whole broadcast. The actual cameras that we actually even use for the broadcast are of technology, which is the old tape system. It's not even the SD card.
Right.
So it's just basically it is a great room. Has great capacity. It's a great experience for students, but we just need to spend the site and the district needs to spend money to upgrade it so we can continue to have this great thing for our school.
Right, I know. I think that'd be really great if we had it. Okay, so based on all of that information, do you think that we will have broadcast back next year?
I don't know. I know one of the other things, it's not even just the broadcast, it's even the equipment that we have to edit. Video is 8 years old too, and it can't hardly edit video anymore. So at this point, I haven't heard anything from the district that they're definitely going to upgrade this lab and upgrade the equipment.
Right.
I sure hope so. I've put in proposals. I've talked to my principal. I've talked to people at the district office, but at this point, I don't really know.
Right. So I know that you had a plan to make broadcast an elective or like a 0 period class. So what happened to that plan?
Well, one of my ideas to try to encourage students in broadcast and get more people involved was to have a zero period. Since we run the broadcast in the mornings,
Right.
and every Friday, I thought if we had a class, zero period, then we would have the students there. We could do a lot of different segments and stuff, because as the broadcast was before, it was only a club, not a class. So
Yeah.
that also limited some of the things that we could possibly do. The only problem with that is we just didn't have enough sign-ups to actually have a class, but I would love to see that in the future. I mean, it would
Yeah.
really be great if this lab was, if the studio was upgraded, and then we could have a dedicated class, because I think then you can really, we still could have students that could help with it and be anchors, but if we had a dedicated staff that were there doing segments on a continuous basis, I think we could also do better, video clips in
Right.
between.
Yeah, I know. I hope that, in the future we could see that happening and bring broadcasts back for, like our entire school and our administration, faculty and staff and stuff. So hopefully that'll work out.
I hope so too. I mean, I think overall, I know a lot of people miss it.
Yeah.
I don't know if students have talked to you, but I know, many staff have talked to us. They're,
Right.
kind of, they miss not having that Friday broadcast.
And it's actually crazy because when broadcast was going on, not a lot of people would always acknowledge it, but now that it's gone,
Yeah.
they're kind of like, oh, what happened,
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully that'll work out in the future. But that is what I have for Miss Cook today. Now let's go on to Kari and see what she has to ask Miss Cook.
Hi, Miss Cook. How are you today?
Hello.
I just have a few questions, so let's get right to it. What was the director's job like?
It really was coordinating everything. Often it was kind of difficult to put, since it was a club. Putting all the pieces together to have that Friday broadcast was on a weekly basis was actually kind of a challenge. Most of the editing for the clips that we did for the week were done by cadets that I had in the class. And then, we had our Monday meetings where everybody got together, coordinated what was going to be going on the broadcast, and then trying to make that, happen. And then, as you know, everybody had to be here by about 7:20, 7:25. We would start rolling the broadcast at 7:30 to practice before we went live. It was kind of, it's a constant kind of wheel. It's always going to try to, that's why I always wanted a class, so that some of those things could have happened in the class. But relying on just cadets for editing, and then if all of a sudden an anchor happened to be sick, then you're scrambling Friday morning to try to find who's
Yeah.
going on live that day. So
Was it
But it was
hard
fun.
training the tech workers and the anchors?
it was, but the nice thing about it, because it was, I think, a club, everybody was so excited to be part of the broadcast. So whoever made the commitment to be in broadcast, made the commitment to come in the morning, made the commitment that they wanted to learn the equipment if they were on the tech team, there was so much energy and people were excited about it, so it really wasn't that hard.
I see. So, what were some of the best segments or events that happened during broadcast?
I think my favorite was always, which was always sad, but was the year-end segment.
Oh, yeah.
I always loved that. We put together, and many times we tried to do clips, if we had special clips of things that happened, like things that went wrong and things, and put that together. But then it was just like seniors leaving. It was always, it meant a lot to me. It was always it was a really special broadcast, I thought.
Well, thank you, Miss Cook.
You're welcome.
Now, we'll see what Ariel has to say.
All right, Ariel McDaddy here with you again, and I'm here with Miss Cook asking you a couple more questions. All right, Miss Cook, how are you?
I'm good.
That was stated before, I forgot about that, sorry. All right, so were you close with any of the team members or cast members?
I think I was close with all of them, to tell
All
you
of
the
them?
truth. And because of the dedication that people put in for broadcast, and the extra time that you had to put in, that we were like a family. I always
Yeah.
felt like. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so too.
So I always, the broadcast students were always very special to me, and I miss all of you guys.
We miss you more. All right, who do you think were some of the best anchors? Or could you put them
Oh
as,
gosh.
Way back when.
I think, I don't know. It's so different. Like some of them, we had really good sports anchors. I think the ones that are kind of more animated. Carl, I think, actually is going into broadcasting himself. So I think a few people that got this experience are actually doing broadcasts now. But I really like seeing how everybody grew, especially when I got the younger ones, and then saw how you had really blossomed through broadcast. So I really enjoyed getting the younger ones, either freshmen and sophomores, in the broadcast, and then seeing how they really
Like developed through time.
Uh-huh.
I like that. So when you say blossom, do you mean like seeing how
Grew.
they grew?
Yes.
Like a sparkle that kind of like inflamed me.
Well, because at first, especially when you're anchor, you get so nervous being on the camera. But you can see in them, like when we do our auditions, because our auditions are pretty.
Nerve-wracking.
They are very
Oh my gosh.
nerve-wracking, and they're pretty. I think we go through a very hard process to get any anchors in there. So when we do, we definitely saw the sparkle. We definitely saw that they kind of, they were good with the camera. But sometimes it just takes a while to get used to how to present yourself live.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Did you do broadcasting when you were in high school?
No, I never did.
Never did?
No, it
Oh,
just was
okay.
one of those things that we had an open spot, a teacher wasn't here, and actually Miss Hernandez had done the broadcast, and then another teacher had done it, and they kind of asked me if I would do it. So this is new to me too.
Well, we love you as our director.
Oh,
We
I
really do.
love you guys too.
All right, so that's what I have for you today, Mustangs, and we'll catch you later.
Alright, Mustangs, well, you've heard it all here, and now we'd just like to personally thank Miss Cook for everything that she's done.
Aw.
Thank you so much, Miss
Aw.
Cook. We love you.
I love you guys
I
too.
know, we're gonna miss you so much when we graduate next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's
Maybe
not
we'll have the
forget
broadcast back by next year.
Next year, we got
Hopefully.
you
You know?
next year. Maybe, possibly, for as of right now, we don't know.
Right. But until then, this is Monique Coloco,
Kari Ferrari.
Ariel Magdadi.
And Mrs. Cook.
officially signing off.